Hi, welcome to episode 3 of the Slow Stitching Stitch Along. I hope you're really enjoying it. If you haven't seen episode 1 and 2, they're on the screen and in the description below, so do please check those out. And to be honest, the clue's in the name, Slow Stitching. We're not exactly racing along. Now, if any of you are looking at me and going, something's not quite right, new glasses. So, still getting used to them as well. Give away my age, they're varifocals, and if any of you have them, you'll know they take a while to adjust when you get new ones, so still working out whether I'm really a fan of them, but I'm sure they'll be fine. But yes, they are a little bit different. So back to slow stitching. This week we're going to move on, and we're going to, in this session, do some chain stitching and some stem stitching. So it's just about getting a bit more texture, bit of variety, and just embracing the fact you're learning some new skills, maybe, if you've never done this before. So without further ado, let's get on, and I'll show you what I'm doing on mine. You'll also be able to see what I've done in the week since I last saw you. So let's get on. Since I last saw you, I've just sewn some more rectangles and squares on using the running stitch, and then on this one you can see I've just used little over stitches, literally come up through the fabric and then down over the edge of it. So not a blanket stitch, but a similar sort of thing, just less fancy. It's just, for me, all about playing around and trying something else. And you'll also notice some chain stitch on there, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to attach this bit of ribbon now, I think, and then that one. Yeah, that way round. I like this one underneath it. So I'm going to attach it with a chain stitch. So because it's a ribbon, and I tend to find they wander around a bit, I'm just going to pin it in place. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And you'll also find you can use Bonder web if you've ever come across it. If not, give it a little Google. And you can use that to stick your shapes down and then sew them down. Which, to be honest, if you're doing some big applique or some great project, I do recommend it and I do use it. But for me, with the slow stitching, yeah, I'm happy with that colour. For me with the slow stitching, I prefer to just hold them in place really and let them go a little bit jaunty. It's not like they're in a set location or I've got letters that are equally spaced or anything exciting. So I'm just going to split this embroidery thread. So I've gone off the screen because I'm holding it up in the air. I've actually got a little YouTube short showing you how to do it if you're unsure. It'll be in the description below. If I haven't remembered to put it on the screen, that is. I sometimes remember and I sometimes forget when I've said I'm going to do it. So I apologise if I do that. Yeah, my usual threading joys. I'm sorry if you find it frustrating. Chain stitch is a very simple stitch, and it's a classic stitch and a classic embroidery stitch, and we certainly did it at school years and years and years ago. When we were in primary school, it was one of the stitches we did on something called binker. Now, if you're of a certain age, you'll remember binker mats we did to learn some embroidery when we were at primary. Yeah, do let me know in the comments if you've ever done that or heard of it. Right, let's get started. So I'm just going to come up in my ribbon and make sure that's pulled through properly. I knew something wasn't right. Look, I've got a little mess. Let's just undo that. There we go. It's pulled. Now, to do a chain stitch, it's all about where that loop is. So I'm just going to go back down in about the same place as I came up, just slightly behind it. Come up a little way further along, however big you want your stitch to be, and then bring the needle through. But notice it's coming through that loop. So it's got it stuck on the pin now. So I don't always pin them down, they just annoy me. Okay, and that's going to make that little chain. And now you're going to put the needle down just beyond that chain so it holds it in place. And then come up a bit further on. Make sure your thread is looped around your needle. And pull it again. And you'll have that chain. I do apologise for the length of my thread. I have these great ideas where if I use a long bit of thread I won't have to keep finishing it off and it'll be less annoying. And then of course what happens is it takes ages to pull it through, and I get loads of knots in it. And anyway, some people can never learn, I suppose. So you can just keep going like that and work your way along. And obviously if you've got curved shapes, you can keep going all the way around those. Now how close to the edge you go is up to you. And we've talked about this enough. It depends what texture you're going for, how neat a finish you're going for. Frayed edges might be your style. Now obviously this is a ribbon, so the edge is not going to fray anyway. So what I'm doing is running that pink along the pink line of the ribbon. So I'm hoping it's going to look really quite nice on there. So it'll leave the black to contrast. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I'm just going to keep going. Now I'm undecided whether to keep going and just show you the whole thing all the way along, or whether you're going to get bored. So we'll just keep going for now, and I'll make a decision in a bit. And you can see at the side of me there, I've got all my other bits ready to go on here, my lace and my shoes and what have you. And I have given some more thought to adding some crochet work. Depending how I feel when I get a bit further, I think I might add a crochet heart to the back. I mean, we're coming up to Valentine's Day. It'd be wrong of me not to. I have had a look, and I have got a few of them in a drawer. Obviously, I mean, who wouldn't? So I think I might sew one of those on. Now, I'll try and remember to leave a link in the description. I mean, how many times can I say that in one video? That I have got a tutorial on here for crocheting small hearts that are very sweet, and they just go in cards nicely. And I do think I might sew one onto the back of this, but we'll see when I get there. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought a bit of knitting or crochet would be quite nice. I mean, I'd already thought about buttons and sequins and beads and things, but it really would be a whole new texture. And what got me talking about that was the fact that I'm trying to add different textures and effects using different embroidery stitches. And if you're taking anything away from watching me do this, please let it be that you don't do your thread this long. There's no need. And you don't save time, you don't save effort, it just annoys you. So yeah, I don't think I can subject you to the whole length across here. So I'm going to magically achieve it now with the miracle of video technology. And there you go. All the way to the end. And then I've done all the way along the bottom as well. And I just want to show you how to finish off. So when you get to that end one, you obviously need to secure that one in place. So just doing that last stitch right to the end. And then secure it in place. You just need to put your needle down beyond that loop, just to hold it down nice and tidy. Now obviously these are going to be in our seams, so they'll be held in place anyway. And I'm just going to finish off as I normally do, with a little stitch at the back. And then you can do another little stitch, or you can run it through the back of the stitches. It's just something so that it keeps it there. And I'm happy with that. I quite like the drama of the black, because everything else is quite pastel-y, quite delicate, and then that's a bit bang in your face. So if I look at what I'd planned, I had thought I'd put that there, and now I think I need to put that ribbon that I want to put down the spine. Now you do need to be careful if you're putting things down the spine, because obviously you're actually going to keep catching them if you don't sew over the edges. But I'm going for it anyway. I think it'll look nice. When the book's closed, I think it'd be nice to have something that does just run down the spine. Which is why, of course, I marked the top and the bottom, so I'd got a nice clear line for what was the front, what was the back, and exactly where to put this ribbon. So again, talking long ribbons, so I'll end up pinning it in place. But I might do a thread that's very similar to the ribbon. I don't particularly want to do a dramatic edge on it. And these are the decisions you're making all the time, which I think is a large part of why it's so good for mindfulness. might become such a creative endeavour. You don't just say at the beginning, this is what I'm doing, here we go, bang, and just sit there, repetition, repetition, repetition. You're actually getting to think about it as you go. Although I have to say, when I get on a long run of a stitch, my mind does wander all sorts of places. Oh, yeah. The age-old problem of which end do you pull from your embroidery thread. Got it. So this time I'm going to do stem stitch. If you've never done stem stitch, it's really simple, but it's quite a nice effect actually, and it's a little bit more dramatic, I suppose, than a running stitch, even though it's very similar. And it is great for doing stems. It might sound a bit strange, but you know, if you're ever doing any embroidery with flowers or leaves, stem stitch is the perfect stitch for the stems. So let's think about it. Which way am I going? Okay, so if I come up there, which way am I going to go? I'm going to go back a little bit and then forward. So, oh, hang on. I might be better holding it that way around. Oh, do you know what? You really have to think sometimes when you're holding it away from you. So I'm going to go ahead and then come back a little bit. Now, right, let's just take a deep breath. You see, I cut it there because I'm just going to go silly, and it, you know, sometimes you just have to think. So I'm moving on a little bit, right to the edge of the ribbon, and then I'm coming back a little way in. And I'm leaving my yarn underneath. Now, you can put it above or you can put it underneath where you're working. What matters is that you're consistent. You do need to decide your thread's going above where you're working or below where you're working, and stick with it. So what you'll see is I go forward a stitch and I go right on the edge of my ribbon, and then when I come back I'm a little bit further in. So your stitches are overlapping all the time, so you do end up with a really solid run of stitches. So for me in this scenario, because I'm doing it right on the edge, it's going to make sure there's nothing that can catch when I'm using this as a book. It's taking it right down. Now I could have used a blanket stitch, but this is all about getting some different textures in. So I hope you can see that, and how it's going to be okay when the book is bent. The ribbon is not going to be able to flick up on the edges. And then it really is a case of keeping going. And I've got to say, all of this journal that I do in between the sessions, I do in my favourite chair with my daylight lamp on, watching my television, which at the moment, let's have a think, is Dancing on Ice. If you're not in the UK, this is where celebrities learn to ice skate in a matter of weeks and then try and do ice dancing with a partner with varying results. So that's what I'm watching. QI, quiz show, but it's very, very funny. What else have we got on there? Always watching things that, you know, are from the past, or films and things like that. But Michael McIntyre's Big Show, all sorts of things like that. I don't watch highbrow, in case you hadn't guessed, because I want to craft. So I've leapt there and just shown you it done, because I don't want to bore you witless. Well, you're watching me slow stitch everything. But now, of course, I need to decide what I'm doing next. Am I going to move on to new stitches, or am I going to do more of the same? I suspect I'm going to do some more things using the same stitches. So I will add some more bits and I will carry on using those stitches, and then I'll see you again in a week's time with some more bits attached, and we'll move on to some new stitches. So please enjoy your slow stitching, and I will see you again next week.